My name is Brandon Young, and today we are just going to preview a program that I wrote called Catbook. Catbook is a web browser extension that I created that monitors how much time is spent on social media by employees. It renders social media useless upon reaching a specific time allotment, which could be anywhere between 5 minutes to 15 minutes, even up to a half hour, depending on the employer's preference. It can be customized for personal or professional use. For instance, if you find that you spend too much time on social media at home and you're trying to cut back, Catbook is an excellent way to deter yourself from overindulging in social media. A quote from the Pew Research Center: roughly 2/3 of U.S. adults, about 68%, now report that they are Facebook users, and roughly 3/4 of those users access Facebook on a daily basis. So from this information, we see that quite a few members, quite a few U.S. citizens are on Facebook, and a great number of that percentage access it on a daily basis. So we might gather that there might be a little bit of overindulgence there. So, social media in the workplace, there are certainly some cons of allowing workers to access social media in the workplace. Allowing social media use within a workplace setting can be a distraction, and distractions lead to mistakes. We could be talking about missed deadlines. We could be talking about misfiling. And mistakes lead to wasted time because of the effort that would have to go into fixing mistakes. And wasted time then, of course, transitions into wasted money. There are, of course, also pros of social media in the workplace. Allowing social media use can provide a mental break, kind of a bit of mental relief for employees. A mental break from the demands of the daily grind can lead to an increase of concentration. Obviously not when done in excess, but an increase of concentration will lead to increased output, and thus also saving money, the opposite of wasting money, as we outlined in the previous slide. Is banning social media a viable solution? That's the question. If social media is banned, employees are likely finding other means of access. And this is very true. I'm sure that quite a few employers can attest to this. You might not find that your employees are accessing social media via their workplace computers, but the odds are they're more than likely spending time on their cell phones. The only way to overcome that obstacle is to ban cell phone use during work hours, but even that isn't always able to be enforced properly. So if they aren't doing it on workplace equipment, they're probably doing it with their own devices. Social media then, in such a situation, would be left unmonitored, and there'd be no way for employers to be able to know how much time is being spent on social media during work hours. So they're left trying to find a balanced solution to the issue. That is where Catbook comes into play. Catbook is the compromise to the struggle that many employers and employees have found themselves in. Catbook promotes healthy, limited doses of social media on the clock. It serves as a bit of mental refreshment. It supports professional connections. It improves employee retention rates, and freedom increases workplace morale. All of these are good reasons to allow the controlled and monitored use of social media in the workplace. Again, we discussed mental refreshment. Employees might increase the professional connections through interacting with other employees or potential applicants through social media websites. Employee retention rates, that typically comes from the boost of workplace morale that increased freedom gives employees. Employees find that they feel less restricted at work, which causes them to feel happier in their positions. It also aids employers in oversight, management of social media use. Again, it's customizable per employer preferences. Time limits can be set by the employer, and depending on the number of infractions an employee might have, you can increase or even decrease the amount of leeway that they have to access certain websites. You can control social media as an employer without banning it entirely, which again is going to boost the morale of your workforce, and it provides flexibility and structure. How does CADBook work? So CADBook works by using personalized constraints, which can be set by the employer. Employee access of social media is tracked. CADBook, as soon as an employee accesses a website that is also enabled in conjunction with CADBook, it instantly tracks how long they spend on the website. And when the time limit is reached, employees are prompted for their unique employee identification numbers. These could be something that an employer creates specifically for CADBook, or it could be an employer ID or an employee ID, for example, something that they might use with a punch card. And upon the entry of the ID, the page will reload, and all of the pictures will have been replaced with pictures of cats for the duration of the workday, rendering that website useless, or at least very unenjoyable to visit. So rather than entirely preventing an employee from accessing CADBook, it simply deters them from spending too much time once the infraction has been incurred, after their time limit has been reached. Employers can make changes as needed. This can be on an individual basis or on a group level, depending on the needs of the employer. Infractions to the time limits are tracked, so that if an employer is trying to track use on an individual level rather than on a group level, the employee, being that they put in their unique ID, is able to be kept track of, so that the number of infractions that they incur can be monitored by their employer. And employers can raise or lower time limits based on infractions if they desire. So with that, let's take a look at CADBook in action. I'll navigate over to Facebook.com, where I've prepared an infraction right from the start. Here we see that we have a prompt telling the employer or the employee that you have reached your limit, enter your employee ID. And depending on the employer, it could be alphanumeric, it can be non-numeric. Right now it's set to non-numeric, so that if you try to enter nothing but numbers, it will ask you to enter a valid ID in the field. So I'll do that now. Let's just type my name. So it accepted that credential, and now we can see, scrolling through the feed, that we have nothing but pictures of cats, which in general is rather uninteresting to look at. It might be fascinating to look at first, but it isn't necessarily an enjoyable experience remaining on Facebook, scrolling and looking at nothing but photographs of cats. So, the schedule of development, the planning phase, it ranged between the 8th of July through the 15th of July. The project design ranged from the 15th through the 24th. And between the 24th and the 1st, the implementation phase took place, and finally deployment from the 1st of August through the 16th of August, which I believe was yesterday. So, all in all, development time was fairly quick. We were ahead of schedule. CatBook currently supports Facebook, but we are endeavoring to branch into other social media websites. We've got Pinterest, which is of particular interest because it's primarily photograph based. Similarly, so is Instagram. So we're looking to get into those regions. Features are expected to be supported relatively soon. So the bottom line of CatBook is that it's the quintessential office tool for the modern corporate employer. You might be wondering why. Well, simply because employees are already accessing social media websites despite any protocol that an employer might have. And this poses a problem because employers are unable to know how much time is being spent and even wasted on social media websites and the devices that are being used to access them. So CatBook helps to maintain good office morale. It provides a relaxed environment for optimal productivity. It keeps the company professional and balanced. And it's customizable to each employer's needs. And the best part about it is that CatBook is affordable and easily implemented. Right now, an Office bundle package ranges anywhere between $150 for a year-long subscription to just one website, but we have other packages available with more websites bundled in, and the implementation is very simple. It's as easy as enabling the Chrome extension on any computer that an employee might be using, or any group of employees might be using. And it's totally customizable. Employers can select the administrators as well as administrative permissions, depending on who they desire to take that position. It could be the boss, it could be their IT professional. Either way, it provides an excellent balance in the workplace and keeps both employers and employees happy.